Okay. All right. Should I go ahead and start a little early? 3 minutes early?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, hello to everyone who is watching us in the world live as we are presenting work today. Welcome to this year's 2022 Juried Student Exhibition. I am Erin Cross, Assistant Professor of Art and the Executive Director of Rall Gallery here at Doane. I am joined with Associate Professor of Art, Eric Stearns, and our new Assistant Professor of Graphic Design, Will Turin, along with this year's juror, Alison Stinely. Hello, welcome guys. The art and design accepted into this year's show is currently on display at Rall Gallery at Doane University's main campus in Crete, Nebraska. The exhibition will be up for the remainder of January, and if you have not checked out the gallery on the campus, I highly suggest you doing so. We have some fantastic art and design showcasing what our majors have been producing. So I would like to introduce this year's juror, Alison Stinely. She received her BFA from Edinburgh University and her MFA from Indiana University, Bloomington. She has more than 10 years of teaching experience in higher education. Her passion for visual communication, strong arts foundation, and arts education made her an obvious choice for our juror this year, and we are honored to have her join us. Although an excellent educator, her strong professional practice as a multimedia artist is not to be ignored. Ms. Stinely's work has been featured on highfructose.com, Juxtapose magazine, and she was awarded Best in Show during the Baton Rouge Gallery's Surreal Salon. She has been the recipient of many awards and honors and is a two-time winner of the prestigious Elizabeth Greenshields Foundation grant. Her most recent venture is as creator and founder of the Foundation Art Academy, a university-structured art program for secondary school-age students, providing them with a strong foundation arts core and a pre-college portfolio prep. Located in Erie, Pennsylvania, the Academy will open spring of 2022, which is quite the venture.
Yes. Tell me about it. I need to have you with me all the time to summarize. Thank you. That was fantastic.
So welcome, and I'm going to go ahead and bring up the work for you to see. Okay. And Alison, if you would like to just go ahead and start talking, and then I can move the slides for you.
Sure, thanks. So hello, everybody. I'm honored to be here. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me, and for Erin. Like I said, that summary was smashing. Thank you. So I was really impressed with the work I saw. Erin touched on, I'm a multimedia artist. I teach and I love teaching foundations. And like, as someone who's sensitive to what is a strong foundation for art students, artists, period, whether you're in school or not in school, like I picked up on the fact that all of the student work here nodded toward one of those core courses, and just across the board, like had the breadth of understanding of kind of a curriculum that is strong. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about each piece. I wish I could have all of the work in, but one thing as professional artists, we all have to get used to is you win some and you don't win some. And so we can't have everything all the time. I wish we could have. So this really is the best of the best. Everything was great. But so I'm just going to get into it. At first glance, when I saw this piece, I was like, is it a painting? What is it? So it's MDF. Does it weigh 1,000 pounds? That's the thing I'm wondering. Like, how thick is this MDF? But it's beautifully done. I'm assuming this was done using a CNC or laser cutter or something. It's really, really fantastic. It's not, it has composition, nice radial composition, color scheme. It's my favorite color. I would show you my house, but it's dirty. But like everything here is like blue-green. So I saw it, I'm like, yes. But really importantly, craftsmanship. And this goes for everything that I saw. And it can be hard, jurying things and looking at things on a screen. So I'm just going to use that opportunity to say one other thing. As young artists, you should assume that most people are going to see your work on a screen. Most people are not going to see your work in person because we live on the internet. And so everything here was presented really well, but it was a little bit difficult to kind of get a sense of the craftsmanship. But from what I could see, craftsmanship was strong really across the board. So we can advance, I think. Okay. So Emma can draw. Let me tell you about Emma. Emma can really draw. Well, I'll talk more about Emma later. But this is a really beautifully done piece. And one thing I noticed with some of the drawings, not so much the paintings, but some of the drawings were almost like vignettes, not just Emma's, but a couple other students. And I in introductory classes, I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Like, I want you to fill the picture plane. But here we have still like a lot of movement, diagonal line going through the body. So, Emma really knows how to design stuff, and I appreciate that. We'll talk more about her color usage and stuff later. Okay, this one kind of gave me a headache. I don't understand how it was made. I don't I studied painting. So I'm a color nerd, I'm a paint nerd. And then I took a trip to Italy because I was lucky to be sponsored to do that. I taught over there. And so I saw sculptures there and I was like, oh, now I want to be a sculptor, but not really. Okay. So I got into 3D printing. I actually have a busted Creality 3D printer on my dining room table in front of me right now. Have to fix that. So I'm in Modo and 3DS and stuff, doing that digitally. And honestly, when it comes to doing stuff like this with my hands, I'm just a big dope. So don't tell anybody that. Oh, we're live streaming all over. Okay. But anyway, so this it feels like a 3D design project maybe, but still craftsmanship was high. And really when I saw the installation shots in the gallery today, it's much larger. I could have taken a tape measure and been 20 inches, but it looks great on that pedestal. So this is something that I would maybe even want in my own little personal collection. Really nicely done, color study in 3D, but still a really attractive piece of artwork. So nice. Yeah, this one too. Ooh, it really, I was yeah, it's a 2D work, right? I'm assuming, yeah, it's only 3/4 of an inch deep, but nicely, lots of texture, lots of activity, very cute, right? If this were a drawing, I'm pretty sure that's a really adorable Moppet puppy of some kind. And if this was a drawing, I might not have been into it. I think the paper really adds another layer of just dynamic texture, even on a screen. So this was well documented, well photographed. And it makes me want to look at it in person. I want to zoom in and I want to see the space between the paper. So I think that's something important to think about. What are you representing in your work, whether or not it's objective or a figure or just, non-objective abstraction? What are you showing and how are you showing it? We always need to meet form with, concept meets form. The form supports the concept. Why am I an oil painter? Why do I put gold leaf in? Why do I have sculptures falling out of my paintings? Because I want to talk about a point in art history and I want to talk about the church and sponsorship of art, all this stuff, right? It's not as weighty as it sounds. But if this was a cute, I don't know, pastel drawing, nothing against pastels, I love pastels, but if this was a pastel drawing of dog, I might have passed. So it's really you have to think about the materiality and how it can support what you're trying to say or show, but also how are you going to attract viewers? And you want to attract people more than just smart, artsy people. You want to attract all kinds of people. But this, to me, is like a level up. So nice. I'm going to finish every slide with nice. That's just how I'm going to do that. I think you said that this student is not here right now.
That is correct.
Which is a shame, because Bailey can really like sling some paint. So I'm going to say this about a couple other paintings too. The one thing that I have a problem with as a painter is I can get hung up on every color. So I look for every color, and I think that's like the ghosts of my professors past who are still on my shoulder being like, that's not right. Just a warning, that will never go away. Your professors will always be in your heads. I'm sorry. It's true. It's a rite of passage. So what Bailey did here, like that red fabric, I would have hyper obsessed over like, well, is this too cool or too warm? And so he, I'm not sure. She, okay. Edited things down, had a nice clean palette. Things didn't get muddied or convoluted, and it's reflected color. It's hard to kind of edit that. And so I think this is not just, nice representational still life, but when you get down to nitty gritty painting problems, there's some really kind of like mature color handling things happening. So noise. That's going to be, I won't do it again. Okay, I started school as a graphic design major, and my friend, the graphic designer, nothing against you. We know the design folks and the art folks, it's like front of house, back of house, restaurant life. But I started as graphic design, and then I realized I'd have to do client work. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. And I was like, oh no. And I took a painting class. I was like, oh, this is it. But I'm still kind of a nerd about design. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, and I'm going to mispronounce his name because I'm an American. Wolfgang Weingart popped in my head. And I was like, oh, God, yeah, I love the kind of like modular setting up of things. I might have liked a little bit more fine compression, like denser, maybe detail here or there. But if you show me something and I think of Wolfgang Weingart, like Weingart, you win. So this is nicely done, balanced well. And I don't think I've talked much about composition yet, but design goes across everything. It's not just applied media arts. It's not just design, animation, whatever. It's painting, it's drawing, it's sculpture. And so this is set up really nicely. And I think it's nice. Good work. It's a really classic, well done still life. I'm a sucker for a cow skull. It's nostalgia. It's every still life. You have to do it. It's another rite of passage. And again, colored pencil. I don't know what kind of colored pencil this is. I'm not great myself with colored pencil. Is this
Prismacolor?
So is it water soluble or is it just dry?
It's polychrome, oil based.
Oh, I'm writing that down.
Mm-hmm.
Oil, you say?
Yes.
Yeah, this is really nice. So does it kind of smudge the way like an oil pastel would?
You can use blenders to achieve a more painterly look.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Well, I think PJ did a very nice job handling that. And the bust and the skull have a little bit of, non-local kind of, it's easy to just go achromatic with stuff. And I'm seeing hints of temperature shifts, which is a nice mature thing to do between what looks like either very light gray fabric and white skull and bust. Because we know nothing's really white, except if you look in the sun. Mm-hmm. I won't bring up a former president who did that. But if you look in the sun, that's pure white, right? Everything else has a temperature to it. And so PJ, I think, picked that up really well. And the transparency on that, what are those things called? What's that? With the butterfly. Right. There's a word. Yeah, that thing. PJ might be here like yelling at us right now. Yeah. But the reflectivity, the transparency of that, again, like mature drawing, understanding of space and form. So good work, PJ. Okay, this is where I'm talking about, again, finding those local colors and letting them be, which is really, I don't know if that was like the objective of, if this was an assignment or not, but it's really effective, and I'm not great at it. And you see it a lot in Dutch painting, like the red robe stays red and the green fabric stays green. And I'm in there like, but I see purple. And so then I just get like down this rabbit hole and things get muddied up. So this is nice and clean painting. I can really sense the texture, the surface quality of stuff. It's really well done. It's balanced nicely. It's just a nice study. It's a good painting. So good job, Haley. I really like that when I saw that one. Even in a thumbnail, I was like, ooh, zoom in. That was good. Yeah, this is set up really well. Again, if you can get a viewer to want to look closer, like I literally just did this in the computer as if I was going to actually see anything more clearly. But if you get someone doing that and you actually are, as a designer, telling us what you need us to know and attracting us, that you win. Like you achieved your objective as a designer. So I got the point. I learned something new. I was happy to look at it. It's attractive, the whole thing from top to bottom. Good choice of typeface, and that little starburst that's created with actual data. Really well done. This is a nice study. It's a good drawing. PJ again. Okay, PJ, yeah. And again, it's like a vignette. It looks like a relatively quick figure study, but it's set up nicely. There's a nice zigzag there. It reminds me, not to be dramatic, but it did remind me of, the painting of Napoleon on his horse rearing up that Kehinde Wiley redid, just because of those zigzags. So even if you have something simple like one figure, and I'm a figure drawing nerd too. I'm a nerd on a bunch of levels, but a lot of times we want to represent people as like being too vertical, too straight up, because we're used to seeing like a symbol of a person as if they're like the symbol on like a bathroom stall or bathroom door, like meep, meep, meep. And so I see students, if I had this model sitting on a model stand in front of my students, a lot of them would make her a little too vertical. And so PJ did a good job of finding that boom, like that center zigzag through her. And like, I'm a sucker for good figure drawing, so had to be in the show. This is really well done too. Good composition. Primarily, I was attracted to this again as kind of a study on composing. And also, I have never, secret on a live stream, I have never tackled patterned fabric as a painter, ever, on purpose. I did one patterned wallpaper thing before I knew who Kehinde Wiley is, and I don't even really like Kehinde Wiley's work all that much, but before I even knew who he was, I did like a wallpaper pattern. I could handle it because it was flat, but other than that, so Jada blew me away. I really am following the form and the volume with the lines on the either paper or very kind of stiff fabric. Really well done there. And yeah, the negative space, even though it's occupying like a big chunk of the top left corner, I do feel like it's weighed nicely with all of the detail on the bottom right. So it's a really nicely done drawing. This one is like how I felt for the past 2 years. Like I don't know, pencils or not, like I feel like my head is in 1,000 different little pieces. And my colorful personality. So that is perfect. And also I saw this sitting on the pedestal in the installation shot in the gallery, also like really commands the space, really fun to look at. I wish I could walk around it. Like maybe Erin, you could like just walk around it for me.
I can totally do that for you.
It's really fun. I'm not, these are just small pencils, but anything again made with any sculptural thing that's not made from my 3D printer always impresses me. Like maybe I'm just easy that way, but this is a lot of fun. I don't see heavy amounts of like hot glue boogers. Again, it's hard for me to tell, but I think it's pretty clean. So thumbs up on the craftsmanship. Really fun to look at, colorful, excellent. Another one, I'm just going to Same thing. Don't know how it was done. Feel like I would probably get 1,000 paper cuts. Really fun to look at. Very attractive. Maybe a 3D design project, but still, I think execution is there. And so much time. Putting time. I said this in the juror statement, but it's been so hard, I think, well, for me to focus on anything for the past 2 years. So like when COVID hit, I spent a month designing respirators and like hyper obsessing over finding N95 filters for them and then like fitting them and printing prototypes. And since then, I honestly feel like that just sucked all the creative juice out of me for like 2 years. And I also had a baby, so that does it. But anything, when I see anyone during this strange time we're living in focusing enough, like even if it's just like this repetitious thing that created this artwork we're looking at, I admire that you're being able to focus that much, and especially being in school and doing your work and meeting deadlines and hitting objectives. I just give thumbs up. So, again, this looks like maybe a 3D design project, a foundational kind of thing, but, kudos to everyone for coming through and getting their work done. So Emma's just really good at drawing. So Emma's drawings got in the show. Like Emma gave a drawing and it got in the show. She puts the time in. Again, here we have patterned fabric. Don't tell everyone in the world that Alison's never done patterned fabric, but really nicely done. I think I want to talk more about Emma's drawings with the, I think, third one. But this is really beautifully done. Obviously, like a little bit evocative, a little bit cheeky. I don't know if she's worried she's hiding or if she's trying to entice us. She's looking right at us. She knows we're here. What's she trying to tell us? I'm interested to know. Yes, this one as well. Again, I really want to see this in person. I so wish I could be there with everybody and see everything in person. The proportions here of the face, I feel they're not anatomically correct 100%, but it doesn't matter. This is still, I think, maybe a likeness of Samantha in some form or fashion. It's a little bit exaggerated, the features, but again, it's made out of rolled paper, which is, if we had kind of these quirky nuances in a different medium, it might not fly. But the paper really adds something more interesting. Just gives you another layer of interest. And so I thought, is this like, that's a flat surface, like the yellow background, right, is flat. And then we have it's 2-inch deep paper that's casting that shadow. So that's also composing with form and volume and low relief. I really like this. If this is a project that's being given out, I really like it. I might steal it.
Good job, Professor Stearns.
So I also mentioned in my juror statement kind of cheeky use of material, and I saw this with the movie ticket, popcorn bucket, and this as well. And so I think it's a fun piece. It's quite large. I can't imagine how much it weighs, but nicely done. It feels stabby just looking at it. Like I feel stabby. But I also want to swing it around. So it's fun. This is a fun kind of, use of material that I appreciated. Another local color, really effective, not getting lost in too much color detail, which is an effective, thing to do with painting. And again, we have the patterned fabric. I think this is an Aaron, Professor Cross assignment. Yeah. So good job.
I love patterned fabric.
Let's collab. You can do the patterned fabric. I'll print the weird bodies.
Absolutely.
All right. So is this the last slide in before we get?
No, I think we're missing maybe one or two.
There's a chart. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Here's what I really appreciate. We saw some plastic wrap transparent stuff in Emma's first drawing that was featured earlier in the presentation. There is something that's really simple about just doing a really good observational drawing, but there's also abstraction there. Even if you are like me or Emma, someone who likes representing human figures or doing still life drawings and paintings, you're still thinking about things abstractly. Like you have to break everything. You have to break reality down into easily understandable kind of components. And to do that is abstraction. So understanding how, a lot of students would look at, I'm assuming this, I hope this was done from a photo. I don't hope that. Try to work from life if you can. But this is done from a photo. And a lot of students would be like, well, how do I even, like, they're shiny. I don't understand. And Emma can look at something and break it down and do the most simple form, which is a color shape. So everything's about color shapes. Emma didn't get caught up with, well, what does a tooth look like behind saran wrap? Emma just said, this is the shape I see in front of the other shape, and it overlaps like this, and period, point blank. And that's why her drawings are so successful, is because she's actually able to abstract things and not look at it and be like, that's a mouth. I think I know what a mouth looks like. Oh my gosh, I think a mouth actually looks like this. But mouths don't look like that, right? Like, so she's able to find direction, shape. Emma's really talented. Fun, just like the pencil. I want to eat it. I want to drink it. I don't want dots. I have a loose filling right now. But this is fun. This is a fun project. This is really well done. You have nice volume. I don't think I saw this on the install shot yet. I might not have looked close enough on Instagram. I'll have to double check, but the dots box specifically almost gives me like movement, like a screen going across something else. So it's fun. It's nicely done. Yes, I love this. There's something sad about this drawing. I don't know what it is, but it is. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I love charcoal. It's not the charcoal. I think the sky looks dark. It's taken from a low angle. We're looking up at the house. The house feels almost like imposing, like someone's on the ground or something. But all the texture in the brick, again, that's like hyper focus to get that detail, to get every little like gradation of shadow between each piece of siding on the house. That's the sensitivity. So this had to go in because I see that. How do we pronounce this name? Cece?
Cece. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Cece's doing a really good job finding those value gradations. Very, very sensitive to that. And all the textures there. But yeah, there's something sad about it. And that could be also just like my pandemic brain. I don't know. But I really like this drawing. It makes me, again, want to get closer. I want to go and look more closely at it. Should I read that?
No. Okay.
It's in the gallery, right?
It is. It's in the gallery. It's been posted on social media, and you've been talking, so we'll just move on.
Okay.
We'll just move on. Okay.
So, Emma, best of show. Congratulations. Yay! Here's one more thing I want to say about Emma. Emma, I don't know if you're listening, Emma, but put the work in. And here's one additional like fangirl moment for me. You are able to find the color temperature shifts in skin, which is very difficult. It's not that difficult, but it's hard to get over what you think skin is. And so, we all get Band-Aids when we're younger that are like generic white people color. And that's not even like the color of anyone really, and let alone other people. So everyone, no matter who you are, what you look like, I've painted and drawn lots of people. When you look at skin, there's red and orange and yellow and green and blue and all kinds of things. And so when I saw Emma's drawings at first, I was like, student portrait drawing, let's look closer. And like on every note, she's getting it. And especially when I started seeing those blues like around the brow ridges and around the nose, and noses there's lots of little blood vessels in a nose, and our noses can get red. And so she's really, it looks like a living person. And when I was an undergrad, when I was studying for my bachelor's, I was painting people all the time. And one professor to me just was like, this looks like a mannequin. There's blood and skin. And I was like, oh. And then I became obsessed with the alizarin crimson and whatever. That was a whole problem. But Emma's really good at finding those color shifts, not only the understructure of anatomy. She's just got it going on. Keep up the good work, Emma, but don't get stuck. Don't be a one-trick pony. It's really easy to ride on.
That's good advice. That's good advice.
It's easy because I did it. You just ride that wave. You're like, oh, I'm good at this thing, and I'm going to keep doing that thing. It'll last a while, and then you have to just, like, when you have a spark of interest in something else, go after that and see how you can mesh it all together. That goes for everybody.
Yeah. Good. Yay, Emma.
Yes. So best 2D. I really like this drawing. So Cece, congrats. There were other drawings, I think, from Cece as well. So that she definitely there's consistency there and there's continuity. And so again, like, this is really good. Keep on working at this, but be willing to push past what you might be comfortable in.
Yay, Cece.
Yay. Yeah, I love this. Again, it makes me want to eat paper. I did that when I was a little kid. Not really. But there are multiple pieces going on to create this one, this set, and it's well done from what I can see, and it's cute and cheeky and fun. So nice work, Michela.
Yay, congrats.
And lastly, yes, I would frame this and hang it up. It reminds me actually of a print I have from 2 former graphic design colleagues who worked together on letterpress. And they gave me this poster before I left them in Virginia. Anyway, Erin knows who I'm speaking of, Professor Cross. But it's really attractive. I've already gushed over it. I would take a print of this and frame it and spend a couple $100 to frame it nicely. So again, when you're a designer, you want to, whatever the client or whatever the impetus is behind your piece, if you're trying to tell us something, data or otherwise, and doing it in an attractive way that keeps people's attention, you're a winner. Chicken dinner.
Yeah.
So good job, Samantha.
Great.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for everyone in live world watching. And thank you, Alison, for taking time out of your super busy schedule to jury this show. Thank you very much. Applause to you for sure. Thank you. Thank you.
It was fun. It was a good pause.
We do have a former student, Olivia, that says, Alison, she's been a fan of yours since 2016.
True.
Excuse me.
Yes. True. Yes.
Thank you.
So, but that is the only comment that we have on either Facebook or YouTube. So again, thank you for doing this and taking the time, and for everybody at the art department, especially at Doane University, again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Again, this was a pleasure to take time out and look at some other students' work outside of my own. It's like I get to be like the fun art aunt instead of the art mom. So that's always a pleasure. So thank you for having me.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, bye, guys.